Nithyanandam, with a gratitude to my Guru, His Holiness Paramahamsa Nithyananda Swami, or Swamiji, I welcome you to this video. In today's video, I wanted to share with you a concept that Swamiji has discussed pretty extensively in the Nitya Satsang, and it's an experience that the inner awakening participants go through, which is that of removing or identifying and removing your blind spots. I'm sure that term rings very true for many of us. Many times in life, we'll find that we end up in situations where we don't know how the heck we got there. Literally, you'll feel like, why is this happening to me? How come I keep getting into this type of situation? Keep finding these type of people? And I did everything right. I did everything as I was told, as is expected of me, but still this type of situation happens. You can fill in the blanks. But I'm very sure many of us, if not all of us, have that feeling. That we don't know why life is showing us what it's showing us. But there's a science behind it. That science is, we are reacting from our wrong cognitions about life, or our patterns. And those patterns set in when we're very young. Swamiji talks in depth about how that process happens, and he gives us the solution, which is the science of completion. It's a 5-step process to help you look in, identify those patterns, and go beyond them. But when you don't, basically, those patterns form your cognition about life. They form the lens with which you view life. Some of us have patterns which are more related to sadness, mixed with anger, repression. Some are more related to withdrawal, maybe some other types of depression manifest. I mean, there's so many things. Frustration. All of these things are very poisonous to how we live our life, and we don't even know why they're there. And life is what we give power to. Life is what we put our energy on. Swamiji, he gives an example, like when you're hungry, all you see are the food signs on the highway. But the food signs, when you're not hungry, you don't see them. You focus on something else. So our state inside is reflected by what we cognize outside. Affects what we cognize outside. Creates those glasses which create blind spots for us. Now I'll give you an example. It's very similar to the food example. We had to, in the building that we have, we had to get our fire extinguishers up to code, which is an annual requirement. So I was looking for different companies that do that. And, it's a very routine thing. And then I went to the store, the same time period, and I was noticing the fire extinguishers at that store. In all my many years growing up in the U.S., I don't think I ever noticed the fire extinguishers in the store. They never caught my attention. But it was very clear because I was in the mode of looking for fire and looking at fire extinguishers, noticing them in our building, looking at them, knowing the different types. They became a part of my cognition, and I started seeing them in the other parts of my life. And basically, it showed me how our reality is formed. We're actually not seeing the true reality. The true reality in that situation is the fire extinguisher and all the other items in the store. And all the other people in the store. There's many more things to take in the store. But my attention was drawn to just those fire extinguishers. And we do this throughout our life. And what ends up happening is when you focus on such a small part of life, then you end up creating blind spots for yourself. And then you end up getting into situations where you don't know how you got into it because you were living with those blind spots. If you can't see, you're going to trip and fall. So the whole process of the science of completion helps us discover these blind spots and go beyond them so that they don't appear in our life anymore. So that all three eyes are open, as Swamiji says. But by not looking in, we go through the cycle of being caught in these blind spots and keep falling down and wondering how we got where we got. That's not life. Life is not about tripping and hurting yourself and then realizing something. Yes, that will teach you something, but that's more of the painful way to learn life. Life is a guru. Life will teach us by all of these experiences, but it's not the only way. There's a much more beautiful way to understand why your life is the way it is and to use the tools and techniques that Swamiji provides us to go beyond that, then live the life you want to live. So that's why we keep talking about the science of completion, because it helps you have these breakthroughs in your life and helps you drop all these blind spots which literally are like imprisoning you. And it's a self-imprisonment. We can't blame anyone else for the blind spots. But because we created that prison, the good news is we can break out of it. So, take a moment to look at the science of completion. Definitely take a moment to learn more about the Inner Awakening program. Because when you devote 23 days of your life to look in yourself, to figure out what these blind spots are, to drop them, you're giving importance to what? Your transformation. Then your transformation happens. Now, you spent your whole life living with these blind spots. 23 days is really not a lot of time to invest in yourself, to come out of it and create the life you want. So thank you for allowing me to share. And definitely watch Swamiji's videos on these topics. I will definitely share them with you. And try the techniques and plan to attend the Inner Awakening program. If you have any questions about any of this, please definitely message me. And thanks for allowing me to share in this most unusual setting. Thank you so much. Nithyanandam.